I know you know where they are, so tell me, before I do some damage you won't walk away from.
Do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Listen, do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Longevity in life, people. That's the goal, stay the course. You are now tuned in to the Evolved Energy Podcast. This is where we push positivity through strength and evolution. I am your host, Twyce. Hope everyone's riding high and pushing through today. This episode, we're talking about something that separates the people who thrive in life from the people who just slowly decline. And that's the longevity mindset. That's the way of thinking that not only focuses on today, now, but on the next 10 to 20, 30 years of your life. Let's get into it. Most people right now, in these fast times we're living in, they don't think beyond today. A lot of people make decisions based only on the moment. You know, we're living in the moment. What feels good today? What's convenient today? What's easy today? But longevity, it asks a whole different question. How will this decision affect me for years to come? And that's why I always say I'm training for when I'm 80 plus. Because the hard work I put in now, that's going to allow me to function comfortably in the future. So the food you eat and the way you move, the habits you repeat, they're all shaping your future self. So that's why it's important to develop a healthy routine for yourself. Nowadays, you hear a lot of people just passing out of the blue. Like, oh, so-and-so died. What happened? He had a heart attack or his liver failed. That's because the remnants of the past actions that we put ourselves through, put our bodies through, it caught up. And then boom, you crash and then people just pass away. We don't think when we're younger, how's this going to affect me when I'm 65 years old? Of course not. We're all living in the moment. And that's human nature. It's cool. But what I want people to do is to slow down. Because it's hard to slow down nowadays because society's moving so fast. Look at music. Music used to last a while, albums. But now, they're gone in a week, 2 weeks. The next thing's coming through. So everything's fast. So yeah, it's hard to slow down. But you have to gain self-control and slow it down. And really think about all your actions that's happening right now in the present day. How will they affect you later? All of it, from what you're eating, what you're doing, who you're talking to, what environment you're in, all of it. So you actually have to be anal about how you move in this world and be very picky. Because look at it, you can go to church and things happen in church. I don't even want to repeat it, but you know massacres happen in churches, schools, movies, malls. Nope, I'm not saying live in fear, but just be really careful about what you're doing. That's all. And before we deal with the outside distractions, we have to deal with us first. Your universe. That's why I say create those little habits, those righteous habits that's going to shape you as a better person in the future. That's a necessity. Yeah, we're living longer these days, longer than our great-grandparents and everyone did. Matter of fact, the life expectancy now, it increased to about 73 years old. So, yep, we're living longer. But the question is, are we living stronger? You get what I'm saying? Are we living healthier? Longevity, pardon me, it's just not about the years, how many years we're living. It's about the quality of life. How's our life as we're living? If I'm unhealthy and sick, for 15, 20 years of my life, my quality of life is down. That's not the way I want to live. So we have to prepare to live better in the future and have a higher quality of life. You got to prepare for it. It just doesn't happen. You got to make your doctor's appointments. You have to be intentional about what you're eating, what you're drinking, again, about the environment you're in. All of that is key, all of it. And another thing that we need is strength. I do not understand how people think we can just go the rest of our lives without building the muscle, without working our bodies out. That just doesn't make sense to me. I understand if you played baseball in high school and you no longer want to play, but think about the function, your body functioning as you get older. Don't you think you have to move in certain ways to keep that function up? To keep it, the machine oiled? Like, you have to do this. This is mandatory. And you know what else is mandatory? Strength. We need strength for the future. We lose muscle all the time. You know the stat. 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after the age 30, gone. And it happens through a process called sarcopenia, the loss of muscle due to age. So it's not when you're going to shrivel up. It's inevitable. You're going to shrivel up. And you're going to be that old guy just walking, barely making it to the grocery store, needing help to put the bags in the trunk. You want to be that guy? You want to be the lady that has to be assisted all the time when she goes to the store? You don't want to be that lady. You want to be that lady walking out of the grocery store with your workout clothes on because you hit the gym before you hit the grocery store. That's who you want to be. So to put that in perspective, if you're not actively training your body, you're actively weakening. Period. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts, no whys, no hows about it. If you're not training, you're declining. I will say that until the cows come home. Get active. I want you to start determining the strength of your future self. Start sleeping well. Start creating habits. Start eating intentionally. Start moving consistently. And start protecting that mindset. Those are the habits you need to repeat daily. Like, hone in on those. Those are the most necessary traits. Sleep, eating, moving, making sure your body's moving, and protecting that mindset. Keeping positivity flowing through it. Staying away from the darkness, which is the negativity and the negative people. Do away with all darkness. Once you practice these and put these in your everyday routine, it becomes second nature. And you're going to pat yourself on the back in the future. Believe it. Picture yourself in 20 years. What kind of body do you want? What kind of mindset do you want to develop? What kind of energy do you want? The person you become in the future, that's built by the choices you make today. So you really literally have to hone in on that and tie up all the loose ends in your life. You know the bad habits. You know the bad things that's keeping you from evolving or being a better person. You just have to hold yourself accountable and focus in on those and change them. People have been smoking cigarettes for years, saying they're going to quit. They're going to quit. You know the reason why they haven't quit? Because nothing has happened to them, health-wise. But I guarantee you, if the doctor says, hey, you better quit smoking or you're going to develop cancer because you're on your way. I see it in your lungs now. I bet you right away you quit. And you know what's even crazier? Some people don't quit then. Even when the doctor tells them they're on their way to the deathbed, they still want to sneak a cigarette in. If that's not discipline, the least amount of discipline, I don't know what is. So with this longevity thing, you can catch this before the doctor says, hey, you're on your way out. So you can catch this. Usually smokers, by the time they catch it, it's too late. So let's get in front of this and prepare. That way we're living. We're living good at that. This isn't the time to be stubborn and look this off. Like, I'm good. I'll be all right. And it depends on what type of quality of life you want later. I keep repeating that because people say this all the time. I don't want to end up in a old folks home and just die alone. Well, you don't have to end up that way. Granted, health situations happen, but if you're in shape and you're eating right, the chances of you getting sick are lower. It's called preventative measure. We can all do it. We can all practice it. The thing is, we're stubborn and lazy and don't care enough. I don't think we care enough. You got to care more about yourself to want to live longer, to want to live a long, comfortable life. I care a lot about myself. This guy I used to work with, he said, I overheard him speaking about me, and he was talking to the guy, and he said, oh yeah, this guy's a good guy. What do you mean? He actually cares about the world. He cares about longevity. He cares about life. And for him to say that, because we had some long conversations when I was working with him, that was cool, because he's right. I care. So I'm going to push this message so it could touch some of you, so then you can care and you can spread the message and at the same time save yourself from a very uncomfortable last 20 years. It's all about the mindset, ladies and gents. So let's prepare to live long and strong. Take those necessary steps. Nothing's more important than you and your health. So whatever you're doing, make time for you. There's no excuse. Excuses just kill everything. You can't grow. Every time you're making up excuses of why you're not going to exercise. There's not going to be an excuse of why you're in the hospital or why your bones are so brittle later in life. There's no excuse, and there's going to be no answers because you've effed off the previous 20, 30 years of your life. So you didn't prepare. So you're going to be stuck. And I hope this message hits home so you can adjust your mindset to focus on how you're going to function later in life. And with that being said, fuel your body, focus your mind, and evolve your life. And remember, nothing's going to change if you don't change it. This is the Evolved Energy Podcast. Stay powerful.